My name is Samantha. I am 39 years old, and this is my story. It is a hard story to tell, but I need to tell it. Maybe it can help someone. Maybe it can help you. One Tuesday morning, I woke up. The sun was shining through the window. It looked like a normal day, a good day. But something felt strange. The house was too quiet. I reached over to my husband's side of the bed. It was empty. The sheet was cold. That was unusual. David, my husband, always kissed me goodbye before he left for work. Always. I sat up. "David," I called out. No answer. Only silence. I got out of bed. I walked through our house, our beautiful house. We had lived here for 10 years. I loved this house. It was full of our memories. I walked into the kitchen. No coffee was made. David always made coffee. Always. A small feeling of worry started in my stomach. Just a small one. Maybe he was late. Maybe he rushed out. I walked to the front door. His work shoes were gone. His favorite blue jacket was not on its hook. I looked in the bathroom. His toothbrush was missing. His shaving cream was gone. The small worry started to grow bigger. It felt like a cold stone in my stomach. Why would he take his toothbrush? I picked up my phone. I called his number. I listened to the ring. 1 ring, 2 rings. Then it went to his voicemail. "Hi, you've reached David. Leave a message." His voice sounded happy on the message, cheerful. My heart started to beat faster. I called again, straight to voicemail. I called a 3rd time. Voicemail. Panic started to creep in, like cold water rising around my feet. Where was he? Was he okay? Did something happen to him? My mind started to race. Car accident, an emergency. I tried to stay calm. "Don't be silly, Samantha," I told myself. "There is a good reason for this." I walked into our home office. We had a small desk there. We paid our bills from that desk. I remembered we had a big payment due for the house, the mortgage. I needed to check our bank account. I needed to make sure the money was there. I turned on the computer. It felt slow, so slow. My hands were shaking a little. I typed in the website for our bank. I put in our username, our password. I clicked enter. I waited for the page to load. Then I saw it, the numbers on the screen. I stared. I blinked my eyes. Maybe I was reading it wrong. Maybe I was still asleep. I looked again. Our savings account. It was the account with all our money. All the money we saved for our future, for our dreams. The balance was $97. 97. I clicked on our checking account, the account for bills, for food, $112. My breath caught in my throat. It felt like I couldn't breathe. This was wrong. This was a mistake. Just yesterday, there were thousands of dollars, tens of thousands. The money from the sale of my parents' house, my inheritance, David's bonuses from work, all of it. We saved for years. All of it was there. I clicked on the account history. My hands were trembling so much I could barely control the mouse. I saw a long list of transfers. One big transfer. It happened yesterday, in the afternoon. A transfer for almost the entire amount, to an account I did not recognize, and then smaller withdrawals from cash machines, all through the night, in different towns. The cold stone in my stomach turned to ice. It spread through my whole body. It was not a mistake. It was not a bank error. It was real. David. He did this. He took our money. He took my money. And he was gone. The quiet house didn't feel peaceful anymore. It felt empty, scary. He didn't just leave. He emptied our bank account and left. He took everything. I think I screamed. I don't remember clearly. I slid down from the chair. I sat on the floor of our office. I wrapped my arms around my legs. I started to cry. Not quiet tears. Big, loud sobs. Sobs that came from deep inside my soul. My world, my safe, happy world, had just exploded, and I was in the middle of the broken pieces. The man I loved for 15 years, the man I promised to love forever, had destroyed my life in one day. I don't know how long I sat on that floor. An hour, 2 hours. The sun moved across the sky. The house was still silent. The silence felt heavy now, full of betrayal. I looked around the room, at the photos on the wall. A photo of our wedding day. David was looking at me. He had a big smile. He looked so happy, so full of love. Was it all a lie? Every smile, every kiss, every I love you. My mind went back to the beginning. I met David when I was 24 years old. I was working at a small bookstore. He came in one day. He had the most beautiful smile I had ever seen. His eyes were kind. He asked me for a book recommendation. We talked for an hour about books, about life. He made me laugh. It felt so easy, so natural. He asked for my phone number. I gave it to him. My hand was shaking then too, but from excitement, not from fear. He was charming. He was confident. He had big dreams. He wanted to start his own business. He wanted to travel the world. He made everything sound exciting, possible. I fell in love with him so fast. My family loved him. My friends loved him. He's perfect, Sam, they said. He adores you. I believed them. I felt it. He brought me flowers. He wrote me little notes. He made me feel like the most special woman in the world. We got married a year later. A beautiful wedding in a garden. He cried when he saw me in my white dress. He held my hand so tight. I will always take care of you, Samantha, he whispered. I will always protect you. I believed him. I trusted him with my whole heart, with my whole life. The first few years were wonderful. We were so happy. We bought our house. We painted the rooms together. We planted flowers in the garden. We talked for hours about our future. We planned to have children one day. 2 kids, he would say. A boy and a girl. He would smile that big, beautiful smile, and I would feel so full of hope. But now, sitting on the cold floor, I started to see things differently. I started to see the little signs, the little red flags I had ignored, because I wanted to believe in the fairy tale. He was always a little secretive about money. He handled all our finances. I was happy with that. He was good with numbers, he said. I was not. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it, he would say, and he would pat my cheek. I'll take care of everything. It sounded loving then. Protective. Now it sounded controlling. He started a business a few years ago. An online company. I didn't really understand it. It was something about investments. He said it was a big opportunity. He needed money to start it. He asked to use some of my inheritance from my parents. I said yes immediately. Of course. We were a team. What was mine was his. He was so happy. He hugged me and told me I was the best wife in the world. He told me this investment would make us rich. We would never have to worry about money again. The business seemed to go well. Sometimes. He would talk about big deals, big profits, but he was always stressed. He would have secret phone calls. He would walk into another room and close the door. Just business, he would say if I asked. It's complicated. I didn't want to bother him. I wanted to be a supportive wife, so I didn't ask more questions. I trusted him. I remembered one time, about 6 months ago. A friend of mine, her husband lost his job. They were having money problems. I mentioned it to David. I said maybe we could help them, just a little. David got angry, really angry. We can't, Sam, he said. His voice was cold. We have to be careful. Everyone has their own problems. I was surprised. He was usually so generous, but I let it go. I thought maybe his business was having a slow month. Now I see it. He didn't want anyone to look at our money. He didn't want anyone to know what he was doing. He was building a wall around our finances. A wall to keep me out. My crying finally stopped. I was empty. Numb. I needed to do something. I couldn't just sit here. I needed help. With shaking hands, I called my sister, Sarah. She answered on the second ring. Hey, Sam, what's up? She said cheerfully. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. Just a strange sound, a sob. Sam, Samantha, are you okay? What's wrong? Her voice was full of concern now. He's gone, I whispered. The words felt like stones in my mouth. Sarah, David is gone. What do you mean, gone? Like gone to work? No, I said, my voice breaking. He's gone. He left me. And he took all the money. All of it, Sarah. It's all gone. There was silence on the other end of the phone. Then, I'm coming over. Right now. Don't move. I'll be there in 20 minutes. She hung up. Knowing my sister was coming gave me a tiny bit of strength. I pushed myself up from the floor. My legs felt weak. I walked into the living room, our living room, with the comfortable sofa he chose. The big television he loved to watch. The bookshelf filled with his business books. Everything felt tainted. Everything was a lie. I felt like a fool, a blind, trusting fool. Sarah arrived. She hugged me at the door. I started crying again. She held me tight. She didn't say much. She just let me cry. She made me a cup of tea. She sat with me at the kitchen table. I told her everything. I showed her the bank account on the computer. She looked at the screen. Her face was pale. "That monster," she whispered. "That absolute monster." She became my rock. That day, and for many days after, she was practical. "Okay," she said. "First, we go to the bank. Then, we go to the police." The bank was a blur. A kind woman in a suit looked at our account. She looked at me with pity in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Miller," she said. "The transfer was authorized from your account. It was a joint account. Legally, he had access to the funds. Legally." The word felt like a slap in the face. The police station was even worse. A tired-looking officer took my statement. He wrote things down in a notebook, but he had the same look in his eyes. "Pity. Because you are married," he said slowly, "and the account was joint. This is a domestic issue, not a criminal one. It's very difficult to prove he stole it." "But he left me," I cried. "He took my inheritance. He abandoned me." "I understand," the officer said, but I could see he didn't. "Not really." "You should probably talk to a lawyer," he suggested. We left the police station. I felt defeated, hopeless. It felt like every door was closing. The law couldn't help me. The bank couldn't help me. David was gone, and he had protected himself so well. He knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't a sudden decision. This was a plan. A cold, cruel plan. The first week was the hardest. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I just walked around the empty house like a ghost. Every object screamed his name, his betrayal. At night, I would lie in our big bed. The empty space beside me felt huge. Cold. I would close my eyes and see his face, his smiling face, and I would feel the pain all over again. Sarah stayed with me for a few days. She made sure I ate something. She answered my phone when friends called. She was my shield. But she had her own family, her own life. She couldn't stay forever. The day she left, I felt the panic come back. I was truly alone now, and I had no money. The mortgage payment was due in 2 weeks. Then the electricity bill, the water bill. My car needed gas. I needed food. I had about $200 to my name. $200 to survive. Shame was a heavy cloak. I had to ask my sister for money, just to buy groceries. She gave it to me without hesitation, but I felt so low. I was a 39-year-old woman. I had a beautiful house, a comfortable life, and now I couldn't even afford to buy milk and bread. I had to do something. I couldn't rely on my sister forever. I had to find a job, but I hadn't worked in over 10 years. David liked me being at home. He said he earned enough for both of us. He liked coming home to a clean house and a cooked meal. I liked it too. I liked taking care of our home. I liked making a nice life for us. Now, I saw that it was another part of his control. He made me dependent on him. So when he left, I would have nothing. I started looking for jobs online. My skills were old. I didn't know the new computer programs. Every job seemed to need experience I didn't have. I sent out my resume. I got no replies. The rejection felt personal. It felt like the world was telling me I was useless, just like David made me feel. One afternoon, I was sitting at the kitchen table. A pile of unpaid bills was in front of me. The bank had sent a letter, a warning about the mortgage. I felt that old, familiar panic rising. I felt like I was drowning. I put my head in my hands. I wanted to disappear. Then something changed. Through the tears, a new feeling started to grow. It was small at first, a tiny spark. It was anger, hot, burning anger. How dare he do this to me? How dare he try to destroy me? I thought about him. Wherever he was, probably enjoying my money, laughing at me. And I said, no, out loud, in the empty kitchen. No, you will not destroy me, David Miller. I will not let you. I stood up. I washed my face with cold water. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were red and puffy. I looked tired. I looked broken. But for the first time in weeks, I saw a flicker of strength in my own eyes. I was still here. I was still breathing. I was a survivor. I knew I couldn't save the house. It was too big, too expensive, and too full of painful memories. Selling it was the first step. It was a hard decision. It felt like giving up, but my sister helped me see it differently. It's not giving up, Sam, she said. It's letting go. It's choosing your future over your past. So I called a real estate agent. I started packing up our life, 15 years of memories, into boxes. Every photo, every dish, every book was a memory. Some were happy. Some were now painful. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. I cried a lot. But with every box I packed, I felt a little lighter. Like I was packing away the pain too. While the house was for sale, I needed a job. Any job. I walked down the main street of my town. I saw a help wanted sign in the window of a small coffee shop. The kind of place I used to love. I walked in. My heart was pounding. I felt so nervous. I spoke to the manager, a young woman named Maria. I was honest with her. I haven't worked in a long time, I said, but I am a hard worker, and I learn fast. Please, just give me a chance. Maybe she saw the desperation in my eyes. Or maybe she saw the honesty. She hired me for a few shifts a week, making coffee, serving customers, cleaning tables. My first day was hard. My feet hurt. I made mistakes. I burned the milk. I gave a customer the wrong change. I felt clumsy and old. But Maria was patient, and the customers were mostly kind. At the end of the day, Maria paid me my wages, in cash. I held the money in my hand. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I had earned it. I felt a surge of pride I hadn't felt in a very long time. It felt better than any money David had ever given me. Slowly, things started to get better. The house sold. After paying off the mortgage and all the debts, there wasn't much left. But there was enough to start over. I found a small apartment, just 1 bedroom. It was tiny compared to my old house. The first night I slept there, I felt scared. The emptiness was different. It wasn't David's absence I felt. It was just my own aloneness. But then a strange thing happened. I started to like my little apartment. It was all mine. I could decorate it how I wanted. I painted the living room walls a bright, sunny yellow. David would have hated it. He liked beige and gray, sensible colors. I loved the yellow. It made me happy every time I saw it. I bought a small, comfortable sofa. I filled the space with things that I loved: books, plants, colorful pillows. It wasn't just an apartment anymore. It was my home, my safe place. I worked at the coffee shop. I made friends with Maria and my other coworkers. They were young, but they were kind. They made me laugh. I started to feel like part of a community again. I reconnected with my old friends, the ones David had pushed away. They were so happy to hear from me. They were angry about what David did. They supported me. We had dinners. We went for walks. I had forgotten how good it felt to laugh with friends. I realized how lonely I had been in my big, beautiful house with David. I learned a lot in that first year alone. I learned how to create a budget. I learned how to fix a leaky faucet. I learned that I was much stronger and more capable than I ever thought. David had made me believe I needed him, that I was weak without him. But he was wrong. I didn't need him. I just needed me. The pain of his betrayal didn't disappear overnight. Some days, it was still there, a dull ache in my heart. I would see a couple holding hands, and I would feel a pang of sadness. I still had moments of anger. I wondered where he was, if he was happy, if he ever felt guilty. I had to accept that I would probably never get those answers. He just vanished, but the pain became smaller. It didn't control my life anymore. My new life was busy. It was full of work and friends and my little yellow apartment. It was a simple life, a much harder life than the one I had before, but it was real, and it was mine. I am 39 years old. My life is not what I planned. It is not the fairy tale I dreamed of, but I am okay, more than okay. I am happy. I found a new kind of happiness, a quiet, strong happiness that comes from within. It doesn't depend on a man. It doesn't depend on money. It depends on me. Living with betrayal was like living in a dark, cold storm. But the storm passed, and I walked out into the sunshine. I learned that you can rebuild your life, even from nothing. You can find strength in your broken pieces. If you are listening to this, and you are in a dark place, please know this. You are stronger than you think. It is okay to feel scared. It is okay to cry. But don't let anyone's betrayal destroy you. You are valuable. You are worthy of love and respect. Most of all, from yourself. Be brave. Take one small step, and then another. You can do this too. Your new life is waiting. Keep going.